Tidak harus hebat, tapi harus cerdas. Welcome to Progressive Mindset. I'm Gaby Hartanto, your host, and this is a podcast where people share their stories and perspectives so we can elevate our mindsets.
Ayo, groom your brain. Ayo, groom your beauty. Ayo, groom your behavior. Indonesia. Ayo, grooming. Ayo, groom your brain. Ayo, groom your beauty.
Today, I have a very special guest, my friend Dave Stanley.
Hello, Gabby.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Aduh guys, gue juga seneng nih podcast gue sama teman gue sendiri, jadi kita bisa santai ya.
Benar.
And also, I think we're kind of a little bit opposite juga. Gue orang yang suka ngomong, Dave sebenarnya juga suka ngomong kalau kita bareng rame-rame ya. Tapi jangan nervous gitu dong, Dave. Kita
Agak kaku nih, guys.
sampai peluk dua bantal tuh coba.
Dulu, ini perlindungan.
So, for those of you guys who don't know Dave, which I think is unlikely, Dave is a luxury content creator, ya kan, who is initially known as Crazy Rich Asian on TikTok. Dave, it's no secret that this past week you have been the talk of the town exposing a homewrecker, which is also one of the reasons why your parents split up and had a divorce. Which leads to our discussion today, coming from a broken home and being born with a silver spoon on your mouth. Meaning, sudah lahir di keluarga yang kaya, yang berada dari lahir, kita mau diskusi itu, Dave. Dua hal.
Siap. Ini kita duduk santai aja ya ngobrolnya.
So, speaking about broken home, gue jadi inget kejadian kita pas baru kenal. Dave ada nanya aku sesuatu, guys. Dia bilang, Gabby, do you come from a broken home? It looks like you come from a broken home family. Terus I was taken aback because I mean, it's not a bad thing coming from a broken home family. Itu bukan pilihan anaknya.
Yeah.
Tapi gue jadi bingung, kenapa lu bisa mikir gue seperti itu? Nah, ada beberapa karakteristik berarti yang you think about
You're
from
a broken home, gitu
family.
kan.
Nah, jadi let's make it clear to everyone. Why did you think I was a broken home? And guys, for the record, my parents are still married and has been married for 26 years now. And my mom's here at the background. Yeah. So what makes you think I come from a broken home family?
Okay, so I want to clarify first ya. Pertama, the definition of a broken home for me or a broken family is bukan artinya keluarga lu tuh benar-benar lu nggak dapet support atau apapun dari keluarga lu gitu. Karena menurut gua, when I say that you're a broken home, when I assume that you're a broken home, it doesn't mean that it's a bad connotation gitu. It's just like your personality is very upbringing, very frontal gitu. Karena dulu pas gua kecil itu, I acknowledge that I am from a broken family gitu. Dan gua rasa tuh kayak gimana ya, seorang broken home gitu. Gua ngerasa sometimes we're more extroverted. Dulu tuh gue extroverted banget ya. Kayak sekarang kan gue ada ambivert lah ya. Jadi kayak gue pengen temen yang deket aja gitu. Kalau dulu tuh gue pengen kayak ngobrol ke banyak orang gitu, ngomong-ngomong. Terus
Apa itu untuk mengisi kekosongan lu di rumah gitu?
iya kadang. Kadang gue juga nggak mau pulang. Even though I have a good mother that takes care of me, gue kadang kayak aduh ngapain nih di rumah gitu. Pengen lebih hangout sama temen, terus
Karena
lebih curhat sama temen.
Karena itu kali di rumah ya, yang loving atau kayak so-called happy family gitu ya.
And recently kita juga sering clubbing bareng kan, especially at Velvet. She owns Velvet, guys.
Yang mau datang ke klub saya boleh.
Nah, di situ juga gue pikir kayak karena some parents kayak my mom, karena we come from a broken family, that also means that I'm more free technically. Karena dulu mami gue juga lagi kerja sibuk ini tuh, gue lebih ada waktu luang untuk spend time my own time keluar gitu. Jadi gue rasa you're very outgoing, you're always kayak out and about gitu. Jadi that's my assumption of you being a broken home. Tapi doesn't mean that it's a bad connotation gitu.
Ya, jadi karena lu pikir gue sering keluar kok bebas banget kayaknya, nggak ada jam pulang, lu pikir gue nggak ada keluarga di rumah yang kayak gitu ya kan. Terus lu pikir gue confident dan segala macam. You think that people who are confident must have a strong background or
Itu.
like a story yang bikin mereka strong gitu.
Benar,
kan.
benar, benar.
Well, to answer that question or to clarify it, guys, my parents actually lived in America for 8 years. So even though we're Chinese Indonesian family, but they're already
Open-minded,
westernized
ya.
ya. Jadi anak-anak dikasih trust yang gede banget. Oke, lu mau pergi kemana terserah. Yang penting kabarin pulang jam berapa. Yang penting ada supir nemenin pulang sama supir dan jaga diri di luar. Itu they're more than fine.
Yeah.
Karena pas kita pulang dari acara apapun itu juga, kita pulang kita juga cerita what happened. Like my
Yeah.
parents know I party.
We're an
I have
open
a
book
club.
lah. Our parents know.
Dan juga maybe later we can discuss about anak-anak yang party bukan artinya rusak.
Rusak,
ya kan?
iya benar.
Mungkin orang-orang yang pikir kayak gitu tuh udah. Guys, ini udah 2025,
Yeah.
okay? Everyone can balance out those things gitu. So, but yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for
One point I want to mention also, yang lu ngomong kayak the confidence and everything, itu gua ngerasa I experience myself juga, karena coming from a broken home family, gua tuh dari dulu sering kayak denger kayak gossips about my family, negative comments gitu. Dulu gua bener-bener perhatiin banget gitu. Even though now I expose that like everybody knows now kayak my family, I come from a broken family and that my parents are divorced.
Ada kasus
Dulu tuh
perselingkuhan
gue
kemarin.
pikir kayak masa-masa SMP gitu, gue kayak ngerasa I don't wanna let my friends know that my family has split up gitu. Karena gue ngerasa kayak aduh, ntar orang pikir gimana ya gitu. Zaman dulu kan masih gitu kan.
Yeah.
Kalau sekarang it's already like modern banget
Yeah.
gitu. It's not a kayak
aib banget
weird thing.
gitu
Iya,
kayaknya.
udah bukan aib lagi
I think maybe
gitu.
it's because we also grew up kali ya. Mungkin even di zaman sekarang mungkin anak-anak di sekolah masih ada yang malu
Iya,
untuk ngomong.
benar,
Nah,
benar.
dari Dave sendiri kenapa dulu ngerasa malu? Memangnya omongan dari teman tuh apa? Emangnya ada efek orang nggak mau temenan sama kamu, Dave? Kalau kamu dari keluarga yang bercerai.
Karena dulu gue sering denger gosip terus kayak ngomong kayak itu tuh anak orang tuanya udah cerai gitu. Gue kan nggak mau dong, secara otomatis who wants that gitu kan. Karena it's not a good thing juga. Gitu.
Menurut mereka.
Menurut mereka. Tapi sekarang gue nggak jadi masalah sih. I wanna expose that my parents are divorced atau I come from a broken family. Yang penting I've learned a lot from that lesson. Terus I know that my mom is a strong woman, she's independent, she's very hardworking. Terus nggak gampang juga lah seorang ibu yang bisa kerja, yang bisa cari duit, bisa jagain anak-anaknya, ngurusin rumah, semuanya dia gitu.
Iya.
Jadi credit to my mom gitu.
Ya, tante. Dan gue juga selalu bilang ke adik-adik gue, whatever hardships we go through, itu Tuhan bisa pakai kita untuk
Yeah.
menjadi blessings to
Benar.
others. Sekarang Dave mungkin menjadi blessings to others dengan kamu expose story kamu ini. Mungkin anak-anak yang lain bisa relatable
Yeah.
dan ngerasa they're not alone. So thank you for taking the courage to be open about your
You're
story.
welcome.
Jadi gimana Dave menurut lu? Kan pasti banyak nih, kita nggak tahu anak-anak zaman sekarang tuh di sekolah malu orang tuanya divorce. What made you mindsetnya bisa berubah? How do you overcome that embarrassment coming from a divorced family, a broken family, if you would say?
Ini juga relating back to the statement that you mentioned, kenapa lu mikir gua tuh coming from a broken family gitu. Gua ngerasa your confidence, not everyone has it gitu. I mean it's a good thing ya, karena I want your confidence juga. Gua pengen kayak di depan kamera, you can be yourself and do anything you want gitu. Nah dulu juga gua ngerasa kayak gua tuh nggak bisa, I wasn't an expressionist gitu, karena gua mau menutupkan keaiban keluarga ini gitu. Tapi sekarang makin kelamaan, gua ngerasa kenapa gua harus malu? I have a good mother yang bener-bener udah ngelatih gue dari kecil ya, udah take care of me and everything. I should be proud of that, even though I have the negative side on my family gitu. Jadi dari sana juga gue ngerasa kayak makin kesini gue makin confident gitu, makin bodo amat. Orang mau ngomong gue bodoh, mau ngomong gue keluarga rusak, mau ngomong apa, at the end of the day I only know, ya kan, cuman keluarga-keluarga inti yang tahu kan, story-nya seperti apa.
Yang
gitu.
sesungguhnya seperti apa?
Jadi gue mau digosipin orang juga bodo amat. gitu.
Jadi masukan lu buat anak-anak yang mungkin orang tuanya bercerai juga atau bermasalah adalah only you know your story and and they should be proud of their parents
Yeah.
bisa go through these hardships and still come back stronger. Bener
Iya,
nggak
bener.
maksudnya kayak gitu?
But one thing that I don't accept from people itu, you can talk shit about me. I don't really mind gitu. Karena ya misalkan kalau gua mau bikin konten pamer atau apa, gua tuh emang dari dulu suka shopping, bla bla kayak gitu. Gua suka bikin konten. It's not just I wanna flex gitu. Karena emang gua shopping suka
Itu your
banget.
therapy jadinya.
That's my hobby. Ya bener.
Lu juga apakah itu salah satu coping mechanism
Iya,
itu?
bener.
Okay, I wanna talk about coping mechanisms. Tapi sebelum ke situ ya, I also wanna mungkin make it clear how I became this confident. Tadi walaupun gue udah ceritain background bukan karena I come from a broken family, tapi I don't know if you know this, but I was really shy girl dulu. Gue
Yeah.
dulu nggak berani minta sendok dari mbak di waitress dan my mom actually trained me to be confident. Makanya gue sekarang di guru-guru Indonesia ikut ngajarin the confidence class. So I believe confidence itu bisa di-build up from people as long as ada kemauan. When there's a will, there's a way, guys.
Bener.
So Dave, what are your coping mechanisms at that time ya? Pas lagi riwah-riwahnya gitu loh.
I mentioned before, satu, gue selalu pengen keluar sama temen gitu. Karena dulu itu gue nggak ngerasa kayak, oh I need friends that can take care of me gitu. Gue nggak. Yang penting gue punya banyak temen. Itu dulu gue salah sebenarnya. Karena sekarang I feel like the closer the friend group, the more authentic you're gonna be gitu.
Lu dulu milih quantity over quality.
Iya benar. Sekarang gue milih quality over quantity
Yeah.
gitu.
Okay, that's good.
Yang kedua, obviously shopping. Karena gue dulu tuh sering mikir kayak, why can't I have a nice family gitu. Karena gue lihat dari keluarga orang lain kok baik-baik aja gitu ya. Jadi gue ngerasa kayak, karena keluarga gue juga dari dulu suka shopping ya Gap gitu. My dad, my mom.
Oh emang semuanya suka
Iya,
spend.
suka shopping banget gitu. Jadi ya itu juga pasti ada turunannya gitu dari orang tua, karena dari kecil gue sering kayak pergi ke toko-toko belanja dan lain-lain. Cuman aside from that, my coping mechanism was shopping juga. Karena when I mention why can't I have nice families, gue mikir kayak, oh ya udah, aside from that, at least I can have nice things to appreciate on gitu loh. Jadi gue memang suka belanja to cope for my feelings gitu dulu.
That kind of makes me sad, but good for you. Now you make content out of it, yeah. Well, that's where we're different. Maksudnya, as friends, your family likes to spend. My family, aduh, especially from my grandpa and my dad, mereka tuh paling kalau bisa nggak usah spend untuk barang-barang yang nggak perlu. Makanya even though puji Tuhan aku datang dari keluarga yang privileged and mampu. Alia tahu tuh. Jadi Dave is also a friend of Alia, guys, my best friend. Dulu pas gue zaman kuliah, tas-tas merek gue tuh dikit banget. Karena gue baru mulai boleh shopping barang merek tuh pas kuliah. Baru boleh belajar. Jadi gue cuma boleh belanja barang branded tuh pada saat gue masih kecil banget. Dan pas gue udah kuliah. Di antara itu gue harus di-train, kamu harus work for it. Jadi gue dapat nilai 100, gue baru boleh mau beli apa. Ada rewardnya gitu lah ya.
Bener.
Tell us more. What was your family like before the divorce?
What was my family like before the divorce? Jadi sebelum mereka cerai itu, obviously in all families ya, bukan family gue doang. There's always the good and bad sides lah. The good ones gitu, I can only remember the holidays gitu. Karena dulu kita lumayan cukup lama kalau liburan, bisa sebulan setengah gitu. Cuman most of the time mereka tuh pasti ada quarrel. Orang tua gue tuh pasti berantem gitu.
Berantemnya yang gede atau
On little things gitu. Misalkan ini contoh lah, bokap gue maunya di kamar doang gitu atau apa. Jadi kayak sering quarrel lah.
suasananya jadi nggak enak lah.
Nggak enak gitu. Jadi gue dari dulu juga, even though they don't fight, I always have this pressure of feeling kayak, waduh, jangan-jangan mereka berantem lagi nih di this
Kapan
family
lagi?
trip.
Ada anxiety-nya
Iya,
itu
kayak
ya.
oh here we go again
Iya.
gitu loh, ya kan?
Atau lu jadi was-was rasanya. Aduh, kapan lagi nih? It can be anytime now.
Iya,
Gitu
jadi
ya.
was-was. Terus kayak obviously when I'm a kid, even though no matter how hard parents try to hide their fights, seorang anak dari kecil juga pasti tahu lah gitu. Karena gue memang nggak sering dengar mereka berantem pas kecil. Cuman ya kalau malam-malam kedengeran lah gitu dari kamar sebelah atau apa gitu. Itu yang bikin gak enak. So my life before they divorce juga sebenarnya it wasn't that good. It wasn't that easy juga gitu. Karena they divorced 2014 kan. Jadi udah cukup lama. I was already 12
It's been
12
10
years
years
old.
now.
Jadi kayak before 12 juga gue udah tahu kayak this isn't a healthy relationship neither for my mom or my dad gitu. Jadi ya it was never a smooth ride gitu.
So it created a lot of anxiety and it took a toll on your mental health gitu lah ya. And you pretended not to know that your parents fought karena mereka juga umpetin dari lu atau gitu.
Iya, tapi akhir-akhirnya gue tahu. Akhirnya
Terus lu
gue
kasih
tahu.
tahu.
I was the one who told my mom kayak if you want to get a divorce, just get a divorce gitu.
Karena you udah kayak fed up gitu ya, kayak maybe it's for the better gitu ya. What did it feel like being around parents who fought a lot and going through divorce? Kan lu pasti ditarik-tarik tuh disuruh, did you have to choose custody-nya lu mau tinggal sama
No.
siapa?
No,
Enggak, dipilihin sama...
karena my dad was like, you can
Oh.
take care of the kids gitu.
Okay. Dan lu juga nggak ada preference, oh I want to go with my dad at the time.
No.
Lu maunya emang sama mami lu
Iya.
gitu. Pasti divorce tuh a bit messy and overwhelming ya, even for the kids also.
For me, thankfully, no.
Oh, ya?
To be honest, no. Karena a little context, my parents tuh divorce 2014 kan. Dari 2010 tuh my mom udah ngajuin surat penceraian gitu. Tapi somehow kayak agak sulit lah gitu. Karena with all the things kayak my mom was working for everything juga. Jadi it took time for my mom. It wasn't an easy. It's not just like oh lu tanda tangan ya udah kita cerai gitu. Itu bukan kayak gitu case-nya gitu. Dan
So jadi especially ini a long process, pasti ini bikin lu, you know, riwah and overwhelmed, right? Or not? You
Enggak,
still,
tapi-
you still not feel
enggak.
like itu kan berarti 4 years process dari 2010 to 2014 kan tuh 4 years.
ini nggak tahu gua lupa atau nggak tahu gua tuh udah kebal sama this feeling gitu. Kayaknya it's already a norm in the family
Udah
gitu.
jadi you
Oh, ya udah
normalize the
biasa gitu,
situation.
udah biasa
You
kayak
don't
gitu.
identify, you don't realize the burnout, the ini,
Benar.
the overwhelm
Iya,
because
iya.
you're so used to
Udah
it
enggak,
gitu
udah
ya.
enggak. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So how did it make you as a person at the time? Kayak itu membuat lu jadi orang seperti apa sih pada saat orang tua lu going through divorce itu? Kan kalau sebelumnya lu bilang sebelum divorce lu maunya pergi sama temen terus gitu kan. Nah pada saat divorce itu apa?
Jadi sebenarnya yang if I had to choose a timeline, if kayak gue tuh sebenarnya lebih nggak suka gue yang zaman dulu pas saat SD,
Lu nggak suka yang zaman SD lu
SD,
ya?
SMP lah gitu. Karena zaman dulu gue tuh lebih ngeberontak. I wanted attention gitu. I kayak made problems at school. I was never the smart kid gitu. I was always the one who made kayak problems at school, dipanggil ke kepala sekolah, bla bla bla. I just realized this gitu. Kayak beberapa bulan kebelakang ini tuh, oh gue ngeberontak tuh kayaknya gara-gara I want my mom to pick me up from school.
Oh my
Gitu,
God.
gitu ya. I just noticed actually.
Oh my God.
Gitu. Tapi kalau pas mereka divorce sampai sekarang, ya dulu masih lah ada kayak problems at school juga ini itu. Cuman gue makin lama makin sadar diri bahwa I shouldn't be putting more kayak burdens to my mom gitu. Karena gue udah tahu dia juga udah ada, dia lagi kerja bisnis dan lain-lain, ditambah anaknya bermasalah juga di sekolah gitu. Itu yang sebenarnya gue mikir kayak I shouldn't have done that gitu.
What's done already done lah ya.
What's done is already done. At least I know what are the wrong things that I did. Dan sekarang gue udah improve banyak. Gue ngerasa sih gue improve banyak.
Okay, Dave. So now we want to talk about the after, which is now the present life. How do you feel about your family now, and what's your feelings towards your dad? For context, buat yang nonton, because your dad had an affair, so yeah, you have pasti certain feelings and perspective about your dad at the time and now, gitu.
At that time, obviously, sebagai anak ya gue disappointed banget lah ya gitu. But he wasn't really a good father figure juga gitu. Before I found out that like he cheated and stuff. Tapi yang gue ngerasa tuh gue kayak very down, obviously. Gue kayak lost respect, kayak completely lost respect. And since that moment, I never kayak share anything that happened in my life juga. Tapi sekarang, karena this took years and years to like overcome gitu. Karena it's not an easy thing for kids gitu. Gua ngerasa, berarti kan itu sekitar ya 13 tahunan yang lalu lah ya. Jadi it took me almost 13 years to like kayak lebih santai gitu. Emang dulu
Lebih santai towards him.
lebih santai towards him.
It took you 13 years.
13 years.
13 years to lebih santai sama dia
Yeah.
dan now you have a relationship with him, right?
I'm still in contact. Dari dulu juga nggak pernah putus kontak sih. Cuman ya dulu gue sebel. Gitu.
And I heard now you've learned a lot of new things about your dad ever since you exposed the so-called, you would say, the homewrecker of your house. Karena you have some communication with him ya. Benar nggak? You jadi lebih dekat sama your dad because of this?
Yes, I think so. Karena buat gua ini bukan cuma nge-expose this story of my dad cheating to everyone. Karena buat gua juga nggak ada mutunya gitu. Sebenarnya kayak nge-expose aib keluarga gitu ke kalian kalau nggak ada the meaning behind it or the story
Or the purpose?
or the purpose to educate you guys juga gitu. And to show what my life was like gitu as from my perspective gitu. Sekarang gua merasa gua bisa agak menutup tragedi masa lalu karena I feel like this is an opportunity for me to discuss with my dad juga on one gitu, lebih open book, even though dari dulu emang kita selalu obrolin.
Karena lu sekarang udah lebih dewasa kali ya, jadi lu bisa paham juga bokap lu ngomong apa.
Iya.
Iya.
Kadang ya memang tetaplah perilaku seperti itu gua nggak ngerti kenapa, cuman ya namanya seorang bapak ya harus tetap dimaafin gitu.
Ya, jadi sebelumnya lu bilang lu kesel sama bapak lu lost respect, but what about now? Now that you have a relationship with him, what's your feelings towards him now?
Nothing. I feel like he's my dad gitu.
Ya.
He's my dad. Mungkin I take this as a lesson ya, karena kalau dari sisi orang tua lain mungkin mereka cara ngedidik anaknya berbeda gitu. Bener-bener diatur, kamu gak boleh gini. Itu sisi mami gua kayak gitu. Lu harus jadi orang yang bener gini gitu. Cuman mungkin memang ini udah jalannya gitu. Keluarga gue emang mungkin dari dulu harusnya seperti ini gitu. Jadi bokap gue juga walaupun he wasn't really present in my life dari kecil, tapi he's been giving me the biggest lesson in my life gitu.
Because of what he's done
Because of what he's done
and what he hasn't done.
Gitu. And gue juga realize kayak what's a good father figure and what's not gitu loh.
Tapi we
Jadi,
gotta give it to him, don't you think, that now he's owning to his mistakes?
yes,
And he's
itu
letting
benar.
you expose this, you know? I really like people who owns their mistakes, see. I think it takes a lot of courage
Yeah.
and
Dia juga acknowledge that it's his mistake and it's his responsibility to take care of the problem that he has done dulu gitu.
Yeah.
Terus sekarang juga gue ngerasa kayak semakin kita terbuka sama keluarga, semakin we get to know each other and like we get to forgive each other's sins gitu.
Tapi Dave, sorry ya, how did you come to forgive your dad? What mindset did you put to yourself sampai kayak, okay, after all these years, I'm gonna forgive my dad. I'm gonna put everything behind.
Karena gue ngerasa kayak as my parents grow older, I have less time to spend gitu loh.
Time is ticking.
Iya, gue juga takut regret ke depannya kalau nggak deket sama bapak gue atau masih ada dendam gitu. Karena gue juga nggak mau kayak gitu. I don't know when I forgave him, tapi I think it was around like college gitu.
Bukan face to face ya?
Bukan face to
You
face.
just made peace with yourself.
I just made peace with myself. Dan gue nggak tahu itu kapan. Tapi I think it's because kayak seorang anak kan punya naluri juga kan gitu. Naluri bapak juga pasti ada gitu. Jadi maybe it's a connection between the bond gitu loh. Even though it's broken gitu. Kayak ya gue ngerasa sooner or later juga gue pasti maafin gitu.
Okay, so Dave, what's your relationship now like with your dad?
With my dad, I think it's going pretty well. Yeah, I've got closure juga because of this case. I've got closure.
Kamu jadi
Terus,
lebih dekat sama daddy kamu karena kamu izin boleh ceritain
I've got
cerita ini
I've got his
nggak?
approval juga gitu. Terus dia juga especially he has acknowledged the fact that he's wrong gitu. Terus I can see improvements that he's been trying to contact his kids, nanyain kabar gini. Terus sebagai orang tua pasti ada khawatirannya gitu. Sekarang lebih ada lah gitu. Dan this is what I mentioned when I say that I'm a broken home or a broken family, doesn't mean that anaknya tuh rusak. Doesn't mean anaknya tuh hancur gitu. It just means that you were once a family, tapi you're now broken. That's why it's called broken family, which means you still have a family gitu kan. It's just I call it that because kita tuh sekarang udah kayak my parents udah separate, udah nggak tinggal di dalam satu atap rumah. That's why I call it broken family. Tapi I still have connections with them.
Iya.
Doesn't mean that my dad's like non-existent.
Broken
gitu.
home sama broken family itu sama aja kan?
Menurut gue sama aja, broken home, broken family sama aja. Cuman gue lebih prefer broken family. Karena broken family itu buat gue artinya orang tua lu udah pisah, tapi ya lu masih bisa kontak lah gitu.
Yeah. So another thing that we want to talk about besides being from a broken family, that you are born with a silver spoon on your mouth, meaning you were born with dari keluarga yang sudah banyak duit, kaya dari lahir, ya kan? And thank God now you can make content out of it, right? So
Yeah.
pasti being born with silver spoon on your mouth, you get mixed feedback nggak sih? There's people bilang kayak, lu kalau sukses ya pantes lah orang lu dari keluarga berduit gitu kan. Tapi kalau lu nggak sukses juga kayak, pantes lah orang kaya nggak bisa kerja, bener nggak? And you, Dave Stanley, sudah sukses sekarang jadi content creator.
Amin.
Nah, Dave, aku juga tahu maksudnya kamu sukses. Aku tahu rate card kamu mahal ya, Say.
Amin.
Puji Tuhan.
Semoga inflasi juga ya.
Puji Tuhan. And I know you go to your family office juga to run your family business ya kan? Nah, menurut kamu gimana nih? Do you think you will be as successful if it wasn't for your family, if it wasn't for your parents' money and air? Sorry ya, Dave. Mungkin ini pertanyaan yang bikin canggung atau gimana. But there was a kejadian from my family. Someone relative by marriage, she gave me shit for coming from a privileged family. Jadi dia bilang suatu hari, sorry that you're privileged and you don't know how to juggle your time and manage your time. Basically, she looked down upon me lah, karena dari keluarga mampu dia pikir aku nggak bisa kerja dan lain-lain. So, menurut kamu, tapi my response was, thank God I'm from a privileged family and I know how to manage my time and I know how to work. Thank God I can utilize that.
Yeah.
So I'm not embarrassed to say that I come from a privileged family. I know how to multiply it gitu. So what's your take on that?
I experience the same thing as you sebenarnya. Kayak bukan cuman temen doang, tapi keluarga gue juga banyak yang ngomongin gue gitu. Oh, anaknya si ini, mami gue maksudnya, anaknya si ini bisa gak sukses sih gitu. Karena because they see that my mom successful gitu, dia ngeremehin anak-anaknya gitu. That is what I really don't like loh. Bener-bener justru itu my motivation to push more gitu loh. Sekarang gue mau sukses, mau kerja keras segala macem, gue mau buktiin ke kalian semua yang ngomong shit tentang gue mau buktiin gitu ya. Not because that I'm sombong or anything, gue pengen buktiin aja gitu. That your words are full of shit gitu. Ini gue masih kesel nih ya kayak gini. Karena
nah, gue tahu lu kesel kenapa, karena lu udah ngomong bener-bener. Gue tahu lu kalau ngomong
kalau bener-bener udah kesel itu.
Itu dia lagi. Bener-bener.
Yeah. Kayak gitu. Ya, and then gue sekarang karena ini it doesn't come only from my mom, tapi mostly my mom. My mom bilang ke gue, begitu lu lulus kuliah, gue nggak mau tanggung jawab lagi. Mami udah sekolahin kamu udah hidup enak. Mami udah kasih uang jajan
berlimpah.
Cukup gede.
Bukan cukup gede, berlimpah. Kemarin kan Dave baru expose uang jajan kamu kalau shopping berapa? Kalau pantengin story-nya Dave, terus?
Enggak, itu sekarang pakai duit gue sendiri yang itu.
Oh iya, makanya hebat.
Ya, itu gue pakai duit sendiri. Dulu pas gue di Singapura kan semuanya dibiayain orang tua kan, mostly from my mom gitu. Dan mami gue udah bilang udah cukup itu. Kalau enggak kamu terus menerus, you're gonna be spoiled, you're gonna be useless and stuff like that. Dan gue juga setuju, walaupun gue shock ya. Maksudnya gue dulu di Singapura, I already have this standard for me gitu.
And lu nggak mau turunin standar.
Iya, itu susah.
You're figuring out a way how to work harder supaya you can maintain that lifestyle
Iya,
kan. Because
benar.
this is where me and you are the same again. Gue juga pas lulus, bulan itu terakhir gue dikirimin duit.
Iya.
Udah nggak ada duit lagi dikirim.
Iya, gue juga.
Iya kan?
Gue juga.
Makanya, because my grandpa menerapkan itu to my dad, and my dad menerapkan itu ke gue gitu. Ya, anyway, you were saying, lu setuju sama cara didik mama lo kayak gitu?
Setuju.
Tapi setujunya langsung apa nanti pas you
Nanti
see the effect?
itu gue ada a lot of conversations with my mom juga karena I said kayak this is so unfair blah 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 gitu, especially when I'm always the spoiled one in the family gitu, karena mereka juga tahu lah gue suka banget shopping gitu-gitu. Kalau nggak belanja sih ya bisa-bisa aja ya, kayaknya lebih gampang gitu. Cuman itu juga jadi motivasi, salah satu motivasi yang bikin gue tuh pengen raih impian gue gitu. So I can buy all these things, I can treat my mom well, I can pay back all the things that they've given me to my family gitu. Jadi dari situ, itu pertama gue respect sama orang tua gue kayak gitu. Even though kadang gue gak setuju, just because kayak ya gue ngerasa unfair lah, gue kayak baru lulus kuliah masa tiba-tiba di cut off terus sekarang gue mau hidup kayak gimana gitu kan. Iya, gue ngerasa kayak gitu. Cuman itu pelajaran, salah satu pelajaran yang bagus banget juga buat gue, karena gue ngerasa dari situ gue bisa lebih independen lagi, terus I don't have to rely on my parents gitu. Gue bisa find my own money, dan sekarang karena I have my own savings, I have my own income juga, gue makin kesini makin ngelihat kalau gue pamer harta orang tua tuh malunya setengah mati loh buat gue.
Tapi berarti di awal lu mulai TikTok Crazy Rich Asian, lu di known as Crazy Rich Asian di TikTok itu barang belanjanya masih barang belanjaan dari your parents, bukan? Tapi kalau sekarang dari lu sendiri?
Iya, bener.
Iya, jadi sekarang...
Bener. Tapi dari dulu juga udah sering diajarin kayak, you've been shopping too much, I'm just gonna give you like a small kayak uang jajan gitu. Jadi gue simpen baru gue bisa beli.
Tapi this is relatable to me sih. Mungkin everyone thinks kayak oh my god such a spoiled kid move. Tapi kita yang misalnya Dave dulu lifestyle-nya sangat high end di Singapore, dan aku dulu di LA juga kayak tiap minggu tuh bisa spend berapa. Jadi kita mungkin dalam otak begitu, dalam hati begitu, tapi otak kita mikir terus kan how are we supposed to make more,
ngegali aja more ideas and everything
gitu. Dan itu membuat kita menjadi manusia yang lebih eager lagi. It's a jadi gasoline for us to keep burning gitu kan ya. Tapi berarti now what I get from your statement now is that you acknowledge that you're privileged, ya kan?
I acknowledge that I'm privileged. I'm thankful from my parents juga, both sides, mom and dad. Cuman ya makin kesini makin gue ngerasa gue nggak mau pamer harta orang tua lagi gitu.
Yeah. Then you gotta admit juga that you started your career itu thank God because you're privileged, dikasih materi dari orang tua.
Bener.
Tapi you know how to utilize it untuk make money out of it. Kan banyak orang diskredit kita banget. Sukses karena orang tuanya kasih modal. Ya.
Tapi kalau kita nggak aksi juga nggak akan ada modal, nggak akan ada uang
nggak
masuk.
Akan resultnya nggak ada. Dan maksudnya kita very grateful ya bisa begitu. I guess what we're trying to say is we're grateful and have our own hard work lah untuk be credited, bisa kerja berkualitas. Itu kita juga living under a lot of pressure nggak sih, don't you think? Udah dari keluarga yang mampu, kalau menjadi seorang failure tuh malu juga, ya nggak sih?
Terus relating back to family, banyak yang nanya ke gue, if you had the chance to turn back that time and choose that your family can be in a good relationship again, would you do that? Gua jawabannya selalu no. Kenapa no? Karena I feel like I wouldn't be as strong as I am right now if I don't experience those things. Gitu.
Yeah, but was it for your family?
Jadi gua selalu, semua keburukan yang terjadi di hidup gua tuh, memang awal-awal gua nggak bisa terima dong. Semua orang pasti gitu ya. Namanya manusia pasti ada nggak bisa terimanya. Cuman makin kesini gua kayak sebagai pelajaran gitu. Terus makin kesini juga nih, gue ngerasa good karma is coming back to me gitu.
That's good. I think it's also partly because you have made peace with yourself and you forgive your dad, gak sih? Oke, Dave, mungkin bisa kasih 1-2 kalimat atau paragraf yang Dave mau sampaikan ke anak-anak atau siapapun yang nonton hari ini, kecerdasan apa yang kita bisa ambil dari your story.
Jadi from my story, I want to tell you guys, buat kalian yang broken home, or you want to call yourself broken home or broken family, doesn't mean that you don't have any future ahead gitu. Itu cuman sebuah pelajaran buat kita semua. And at the end of the day, semua orang itu kalau they have done mistakes, you're gonna be a stronger person. Terus kalau lu bisa maafin keluarga lu sendiri, lu juga bakal lebih nemuin peace within yourself and within your family. Jadi in the future juga lu bisa fokus ke hal-hal yang lebih positif gitu. Dan buat kalian yang lagi ngadepin keluarga yang kurang baik, atau maybe like your parents are having a divorce and people are talking about you, I don't think it's a bad thing gitu. Karena at the end of the day, orang tua kalian juga divorce for their own sake and the family sake juga. Jadi I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a bad thing. Dan kalian harus semangat aja terus, nggak boleh putus asa, dan find positivity, and you can take this event as a lesson for all of you guys.
People should acknowledge their privilege, tapi jangan sampai ngehina orang, merendahkan orang. Yang bisa kita lakukan adalah kebaikan. You can utilize that privilege and make the most out of it, multiply it, ya kan? Membuat hal yang berguna dan menguntungkan diri atau menguntungkan orang lain juga. Dan juga menurut aku, orang yang mungkin tidak se-privilege, orang yang lebih privilege, jangan meremehkan atau merendahkan perjuangan orang. Karena orang tidak minta dilahirkan di keluarga susah, orang juga tidak minta dilahirkan di keluarga yang mampu. Kita punya our own battles. We have our own battles. Jadi, jangan menghakimi hidup masing-masing, yang penting gimana kita pilih untuk menjalani hidup itu. So thank you so much for watching Progressive Mindset. I hope some things today can elevate your mindsets. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dave
you,
Stanley.
Gab. Thank you. Bye, guys.
We're going
Thank
dinner
you for
now.
watching.